So I was nervous thinking, and my agent called me and said, look, you might have to prepare to be an undrafted free agent. I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me, right? And nothing against being an undrafted free agent, but it's just, it's a harder climb. Everyone knows that. And I was upstairs and late in the 6th round, pick number 198, I got a call from the St. Louis Rams. And it was Peter Jensen, the defense coordinator, said, Matt, we're going to draft you. So I knew. And then obviously my family was downstairs watching ESPN. About 30 seconds later, you could just hear downstairs erupt because they saw it on TV. And you talk about just you're so tense and so stressed. I think even top 10 guys are too, right? Because everyone wants to be number one, right? And you see it every year, John. We're watching ESPN. Guys are still in the draft in the green room at pick number 20. You can see it on their faces because you've been doing this your whole life. I started in 1986 playing for the Glen Ellyn Golden Eagles, right? I wanted to be Jim McMahon. Okay, everyone did. This is 1986.
Yeah.
1985, Bears won it all. So I've been playing football since 1986. You go through high school, and I tell the players I coach this all the time that I didn't play immediately. I went to Iowa as a quarterback under Coach Fry, and then Chuck Long, who we talked about in a previous episode, Chuck Long asked me if I wanted to play on Sundays. I said, yes, Coach, I do. He said, it's not going to happen at quarterback. Come play defense for us, right? So I moved over to defense. So I had to relearn how to backpedal and play backwards after doing quarterback as a redshirt freshman. And back then, you understand, this is the 90s, John. Scout team quarterbacks with red jersey, that didn't matter. You got hit. You got hit hard all the time. Bobby Diaco used to be a defense coordinator at Notre Dame, and the head coach at UConn was a starting linebacker. And Bobby he's put me on the ground every single day. Every day. I got hit going back to the huddle at times. And so I switched over to defense freshman year, redshirt freshman year, played special teams. Sophomore year, I was our, sub-package safety, but this is 1996. There's not a lot of sub-packages in the Big Ten in 1996. When Breeze got to Purdue, things changed, but you're playing against Michigan. It's the I formation,
right.
That's what it was. So I got snaps in games, but not a lot. It wasn't until my junior year that I played, and I played behind 2 NFL guys. Damian Robinson was drafted by the Jets. Next year was Kerry Cooks, who got drafted in the 5th round. So I was playing behind 2 NFL guys. I had to wait my turn, and it took a long time. So it's 3 years post high school. So I was a starter, right? So you start thinking about all this stuff in your head while the draft is going on. And you start to question, am I talented enough to play in this league? Do they view me as talented enough? I thought I was. Did they view me as talented enough? And, it was a long wait. And obviously I was picked number 199. I remember 198, number 199 was Tom Brady. So same draft. There you go. So I remember looking at the screen, and I played against Brady, obviously in college. He was at Michigan. Looking at the screen, and they, when you get to that point of the draft, Mel's not breaking those guys down like the top 10, right? They just show like 8 guys who got drafted. I look at the screen, it says Matt Bowen, it says Tom Brady. I said, okay, there goes Brady of the Patriots. And at that point, you're not thinking anything of it. Now we're the same age. I'm doing a podcast with you, and this guy's going back to play another season.
But you were picked ahead of him.
It was one spot. So that's like my claim to fame. No one talks about what I did as a player. So, but I can still say, if I'm uncomfortable at a holiday party, I can still say, hey, you know what? I was drafted 1 spot ahead of Tom Brady.
I'm sure St. Louis feels good about that too.
Yeah, sure. And a lot of other, yeah, sure. And a lot of other teams. Yeah.
Hey everybody, it's John Keim. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, and I'll continue to bring you guests who provide excellent insight into the Washington Commanders. And while you're here, check out the other terrific content on the Ampire Media Network, including Inside the Cap with Joel Corey and All's Caps with Steve Wino and former Washington Capital Carl Alsner. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Thank you.